Hi, Goes family. Welcome back to Larry's Anything Goes. Hope you guys having a great and exceptional day. My bad. I went to hit the live button and didn't even realize I was still that I didn't wasn't doing what I needed to do in regards to being on the program. So there we go. Got the music. So, anyways, okay, it's November 3rd. The election is days away. If you've seen my content before, you know I don't care who you're voting for. If you're like myself, I I'm more on the I don't even think I'm going to vote aspect of things right now. A lot of because I'm just not feeling it. I'm not really feeling the election. This is probably the first presidential election since 2008, 2005 that I'm not voting, or 2004 that I'm not voting. Um, and there might be something in me that says, you know what, get your butt up and just go vote and just go vote down ballot and go. Keep it simple. Do something to that effect. And I'm like, so we'll see what happens. Maybe I'll do it after I leave the gym, or maybe I'll do it before I go to the gym. We'll see. We'll see what happens. So, like I said, if you're a Trump supporter, you're welcome here. If you're a Harris supporter, you're welcome here because I don't care either individual. If you're like me and not really not participating, either way you're welcome. Because if you don't know what Larry's Anything Goes about, first off, this is the 22nd edition of today's forecast. We're all gonna die. Where I mock the media because the media makes it so easy for me to mock. Because all they are good at is scaring the crap out of people for the sake of scaring the crap out of people. And it always makes me laugh. Because it's like I said, it's the end of the world. And, if you don't know, I'm from the DMV area, which is the Washington, D.C., Maryland, Virginia area. I grew up on the Virginia side of the Potomac River. And one thing I can say with all sincerity is every presidential election, it's the end of the world. Especially in this area because this is the place where the wheels and deals go down from a presidential perspective, a Senate perspective, Congress, all that good stuff. This is where state representatives, mayors, governors, foreign dignitaries from other countries coming to the DMV area to make the money, to make deals that will eventually turn into transactions on all levels, regardless of the situation, regardless of the White House, Government House, and other stuff. So that's why I don't lose too much sleep over it. That's number one. Number two, this is the end of the road. It's like I wish I could play that song and I would get a strike. As Boys to Men said, "Oh, we come to the end of the road till I can't let go. It's so natural. You belong to me. I belong to you." So that's where we're at in regards to the presidential election. I could not be more happy because I'm so this has probably been the number one election. I've been so sick and tired. It's been another election. I'm so sick and tired of seeing these stupid ads. Because you even think in the world of people not really watching cable TV and whatnot that you'll be able to escape the presidential ads, but you can't. You're going to see it on social media. Of course, you're going to see the signs everywhere. And I'm just like, don't care. There was a funny sign that a friend of mine on Facebook, she put on there. It was next door to her house. Her son took a picture of a sign. And it was funny. They live in Houston. And it says, "Presidents come and go, but the presidents are temporary. Wu-Tang is forever." I like that. I'd actually wear a T-shirt that says that. There's probably one out there that says presidents are temporary, but Wu-Tang is forever. And I'm like, that's real. I can definitely do that program. But like I said, we're in a time where I actually wish I was going out of town the day after the election, so I have to hear about this nonsense. But like I said, we're living in a time where more and more people are going out of the way to become divisive over two people that make way more money than them. And regardless if they get into office or not, they're still going to be worth way more than most working people are who are voters. Okay, and I think that's something that doesn't get talked about enough. The money, I always say, make money moves, or you're gonna live like a fool, and that entails with education, health, because at the end of the day, your health is your wealth. That entails understanding that this beautiful thing called the United States of America, everything boils down to dollars and cents. Because if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. A lot of people just can't grasp that concept. And every time a politician comes to my house, whether it's Democrat or Republican, I always say, okay, before you give me your speech and what you want to do, I'm like, first, let's not talk about the economy, because from an economic standpoint, the DMV area is always going to be recession-proof, as my old boss would call it, because this is where the deals go down from the federal level, a lot of state and all state levels, because all governors and major city mayors come to the DMV area to, rub noses, shake hands, build relationships, do business deals, the whole nine. So if this place is economically in trouble, then that means the rest of the country is going to be economically in trouble. So growing up here, I've gotten the opportunity to see, even in the worst of the economic downturn, this area stands strong, because this is where the wheels and the deals happen on all branches of government. And with government, you're always going to have these crazy, beautiful things, not crazy things, but beautiful things called government contracting. And government contracting from the federal level, state level, and the city and county level have made a lot of people rich, or brought a lot of people into the middle class. So wheels and deals going to happen regardless if it's a Democrat, Republican, or independent, because it's the American way. And it's a beautiful thing. So that's why we say, I don't take sides. The only side I take on the side is of how much am I going to get paid side, or how much of a good investment side is this going to be. That's the side I'm on. That's the side I vote. And that has nothing to do with either party, because as far as I'm concerned, they're all full of crap anyways. But anyways, I digress. So shout out to Saturday Night Live. They did a great thing mocking Harris and mocking Trump. And that's the beautiful thing about Saturday Night Live. They want to say it's all left-leaning, but they made fun of Kamala Harris, because the woman who, I forgot the name of the actress that mimicked Kamala Harris, but she had that woman down pat, and it was funny as hell, that corny laugh. And then the guy that did Trump, he wasn't that good. I thought Alec Baldwin was much better, but I know he's had, ever since he had that issue where I believe he accidentally shot somebody on set, so I don't know if he's even still acting anymore, but he did Donald Trump way better, in my personal opinion. Laughed my butt off. And and this is my mindset, because today's world has become so timid and uptight and so sensitive over every single thing. If you can't laugh at yourself, then what's the point, man? Like, really, life is too short. Laugh at yourself. We are all flawed in some sort of way, so we can laugh at ourselves because of that. That's the beauty of comedy, in my personal opinion. Okay, that is the beauty of comedy. So be able to laugh at yourself. Keep it simple. Okay, keep it simple. What do I know? You know what I mean? It's just like, life is too, I would never want to be so. I don't care if you're the staunchest Republican or Democrat. If you don't know how to have a sense of humor, then I would say what I want to say, but I'm not going to say it online. But there's a saying that I always say that ticks people off, but that's just where I'm at in my mindset now. That's how I'm feeling. Just like, look, it's just, life is too short to be dealing with all this uptight nonsense. So, but they made their final speeches, Harris and Trump. Trump was in Reading, Pennsylvania, where I actually own real estate property, and Harris was in Philadelphia. So they made their final pitches. And like I said, 3 months ago, everybody basically knew who they were going to vote for. So I don't think there was any, my personal opinion, I don't think there's any last minute people that were going to change their minds. But that's just my personal opinion. I'll leave it at that. Keep it simple. But yeah, man, it's just like, life is too short. Let's do what we got to do. And either way, at the end of the day, because this is going to be my last broadcast, my last live, as far as for both my Facebooks and my I got to start getting back into going live on Instagram again, but I've just gotten used to doing it on other platforms, because I would just go live on other platforms and just do real quick videos and things of that nature. But I have to say it again. I feel like I'm repeating myself, but I heard this saying on EWL University, and I thought it was one of the realest sayings ever. There was just like, regardless if Harris or Trump gets in office, you still got to make money. You still got to make money moves. You still got to invest in yourself. You still got to invest in your family. The people that are around you have to be investing in you, and you have to be investing in them. It can't be so one-sided, because the world, things are too expensive and too crazy right now to be around basic, boring people. People that don't want to get it. People that don't want to, think outside the box. People that have bad energy. That's my main thing. Bad, negative energy. Excuse me. That's definitely the number one thing to stay away from. Okay, that's definitely my personal opinion. The number one thing to stay away from is that negative energy. But that's the number one thing of today's forecast. We're all gonna die. If you're considered to be an undecided voter, okay, cool. But remember, when you go into the voting booth, vote your economic interests. That's the only thing I can say. Get your feelings, get your emotional feelings out of it. If you don't want to go, like I said, if I do vote, I might vote down ballot, where I might just vote for Cornel West. Lord, I would not vote for Kanye West if he ran for president. I'm not saying he's stupid, but I know he's not all there, and I'll just leave it. Not all there when it comes to certain things. I'm not going to say he's crazy either, but I'm not going to insult him. I've never met him before. I've just seen him do a couple of crazy things online, but I know he's not stable enough to be in that position, in my personal opinion. But hey, could be wrong. But we will see what will happen and go from there. So another aspect, today's forecast, we're all gonna die. So apparently there was, in my neck of the woods in Woodbridge, Virginia, there was actually police had to unfortunately kill a person who killed somebody, and they were chasing him from Fairfax, Virginia to Prince William County, Virginia, where that's what the city of Woodbridge is, in Prince William County, Virginia. And person tried to barricade themselves, and there was an all-out shootout, and the police had to take them out. Now, the main reason why I'm saying today's forecast, we're all going to die, I'm mocking the media, because the media is making it sound like the suburban community of Woodbridge, Virginia, that I came from, has like the worst crime rate and is the most dangerous place on earth to live. It's not. Like, I've been to major cities where there's a high crime rate, but I can tell it's not the most dangerous place to live. Like, I always like to, for example, Los Angeles, California. I've actually feel more safe in LA than I do in the DMV area. I feel more relaxed. Maybe this is because I'm more of a West Coast guy at heart, but because one thing Los Angeles has in common with the DMV area is you can avoid trouble. Trouble doesn't really come find you. Like, New York back in the day, and even now, trouble can come find you. The Bay Area, trouble comes find you. Northern California, because all the homelessness and cost of living, et cetera, and so forth. But cities like DC, cities like Los Angeles, that's the one thing that they have in common is, for the most part, if you mind your own business and you're not going places you're not supposed to be, you can avoid trouble. But you'll never know this if you never go, because even a lot of people, like I said, that are Virginians and Marylanders, they're scared to go to DC to this day. And I'm just like, okay, it's like any other major city in this country. I don't care if you go to Detroit, Chicago, Phoenix, Denver, Colorado, any major city you go to in this country, there's a good part and there's a bad part. But any major city in any town in this country, the moment, I always say, if you want to be safe, stay in the house. Because the moment you step out of your house, no matter what town or state that you live in this country, the chances of you getting killed or robbed are much higher than it was than you being in the house. I'm just saying. But that's me bringing common sense into the equation. And I always like to say, I know that's illegal, so I'm going to shut up. I'll leave it at that. But yeah, at the end of the day, you have to You got to bring common sense into the equation. You got to think outside of the box. And another thing, you got to take freaking risks in this life. I get the most disappointed. I won't say depressed because I'm not depressed. I'll get the most disappointed that people are scared to take risks. You know, I always say it's just like I never would have went to the West Coast if I would have waited on people. I would have never went to Canada if I would have waited on people. I would have never done anything if I would have waited on people. You know, I haven't watched the video in years and I can't believe it. I need to look that up now because that was one of my most, because you got to have these motivational videos around you in today's world because, you know, there's so much ratchetry and negativity surrounding a lot of things. You know, but what is it? But yeah, it's just like there's so much, like I said, ratchetry and negativity nowadays. But yeah, it's just like you have to be able to have that motivation. You know, I have motivational quotes in my room. I have motivational quotes on my desk at work. And you know, a lot of times I like to listen to motivational videos, things that are going to stand out. And quarter life versus, there we go. And this young guy named Smiley, who did a TED Talk. I can't believe this was nine years ago, but he had 2 million views. So check out, it's called Refusing to Settle, the Quarter Life Crisis. Adam Smiley Postwolski. And I love this video because it's like it just gave me so much great information. And they should check it out. It's only 16 minutes. I believe he was in Denver, Colorado at a high school speaking, doing a TED Talk. And this young man was a federal employee. He was working high. He worked his way up and working at I forgot the name of the specific governmental organization, but it was more of a civil agency. And he was, you know, and this is during the Obama era, Bush/Obama era, where he was going to meetings at the White House. He was getting paid really good money, up to almost $200,000 a year. And he, you know, hey, he went to college. He was living, quote unquote, the American dream. Because at that time, you know, we're speaking 9 years ago, so you know that was a minute ago. You know, we're talking about 2015. You know, so America was different. This is before the pandemic, so we're talking about another time. But we're talking about a guy who went to college, got a nice paying job in the federal government, worked his way up to the various levels of the federal government, and he was getting paid good money. But he said, and he was great at his job. But there was one small but kind of important problem. He was miserable. He hated living in DC. He hated his job, even though he was great at his job. And he was young enough to be like, okay, I don't have a wife and kids, but what do I want to do with the rest of my life? And he did the crazy thing and said, you know what, the hell with this. I'm moving to San Francisco. And he joined a group of young people that is like, hey, go after your dreams, take a chance, refuse to settle. That's one of my favorite sayings. Like last week, I talked about my new favorite words is options and leverage. And my favorite saying is refusing to settle. Because once you settle, then you put yourself in a precarious position of stagnation or depression. And a lot of people, the older we get, and I can be guilty of this as well, we settle. And therefore we remain stagnated, and therefore we just we get to the point where there's nothing left to do in our lives but pay bills and die. And if that's the lifestyle that you want to live, just pay bills and die. And the only most exciting thing that's happening in your life is a football game, go for it. But not my cup of tea. And the reason why I'm veering off of, because you're probably saying, if you're watching this, so what does this have to do with the media? It has everything to do with the media. I don't care if it's left, right, up, down, triangle, circle, whatever the case may be. I call the media the great distraction. I call the media the great scare tactics. Doing their best to scare the crap out of you on a regular basis. And just doing their best to ensure that you are not focusing on the most important things. That's what I would say. With politics, it's all about the money first and then social issues second. Because a lot of people are like, well, Larry, don't you find social issues that happen in our country? Don't you have an issue? I was like, yeah, I'm not going to ever say that there's not an issue with certain social issues. But what I am going to say is that the money has to be talked about first, because money is power. Money creates leverage. Money creates leverage. You have to remember that. Okay. Skill sets create leverage. You have to remember that. What do I mean by that? Okay, well, when the world started to open up again in 2021, workers, now the companies have the leverage, because there's not as many jobs being created and people aren't hiring as much. But a lot of people are like, hey, I'm staying in my job. So not many people are quitting their job unless they're retiring, or they actually have a side hustle or another company or another job lined up. And not just like in 2021, people were quitting their jobs because they were getting unemployment, or people wanted to stay on unemployment. So there was leverage for a lot of employees. There was leverage for employees to not go back to work, or to pick and choose who they wanted to work for. I remember banks and McDonald's or fast food joints were giving other extra incentives for people to come back to work. They were giving incentives for people to come back to work. Case in point, I remember McDonald's was giving people like $200 to $300 to $500 to sign up. To work for them. I remember certain banks, I think it was SunTrust, they gave a $800 to $1,000 bonus if you would come work for them. The workers had leverage. That was the only good thing about unions, because unions have issues as well. So I'm not going to say I'm pro-union, but the good thing about being a part of a union, like I said, and anything, there's pros and cons. Not being a part of a union, there's pros and cons. Being in the union, there's pros and cons. So let's just cut the nonsense on that one. But the thing is, at the end of the day, is that you had instead of one employee trying to fight management in regards to better pay, better hours, better benefits, you had a group of employees fighting for better pay, better hours, better benefits. But of course, you had the people running the union, depending on who they were, that were maybe taking a little bit off the top. They were increasing the monthly dues to be a part of the union in order to fatten their pockets. So it's just one of those things. The 4 offshore jobs were being offshored or being taken away by AI. That's why workers had leverage. Everything is about leverage. Okay, especially back in the days of the 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s and 70s, it's like, oh, they had leverage. The workers had leverage to negotiate the price for them to remain working for the company. And if they didn't get what they wanted, they would go on strike. And their thing was to hurt the profits of the corporation. But whether or hated, that's called leverage. And it's the same thing with the pandemic. Leverage happened for a lot of employees, and people are like, yeah, I don't want to go back to work. Or, okay, if I go back to work, depending on my job, I want 100% telework. Or I want to be able to at least telework for 2 to 3 days a week, especially given the fact that we was able to do it during the pandemic. So why not? Leverage. But then a lot of companies bucked at that and said, okay, great. We had you working, when we first hired you, you were in California and New York, most expensive states in continental United States of America. So, hey, this is what we're going to do. If you're going to stay in Texas and Florida, we're going to cut your pay to Texas and Florida standards. So a lot of people have had to end up going back to work, moving back to California, moving back to New York, because it's like, hey, I can't afford that, especially given the fact that I bought a house that is very big and it's cheaper than I would have to buy it in California or New York, but it's still expensive, and I need this current salary in order for me to afford this lifestyle. So looks like I might have to go back. That's why you got the whole real estate debacle happening in Florida specifically, because Texas has a way better economy than Florida. Once again, I don't do Democrats and Republicans, I do checkings and savings. So I don't care which party you're with. I don't care who you're voting for. I don't care if you're like me and you're not voting. Do what you do. The only thing I ever want to debate is the reason why I have money behind me. That's the only thing I want to debate. Don't want to debate sports. Don't want to debate politics. I want to debate how I get some money, how you can get some money. That's the only argument I want to have with another grown man, especially grown man, but any adult specifically. All right, but anyways, especially. So that's leverage. So at that time, the workers had the leverage, but then the corporations like, hey, well, this is how it's gonna fly. Okay, so we can, as a corporation, can save money, and then remember, this is why a lot of the commercial real estate has lost leverage. They had leverage before the pandemic, but then the lockdowns came. A lot of these corporations like, hey, we can increase our profit margins by not having this many people housed in these commercial facilities, or not have any people housed in commercial facilities. And if we're going to do telework for a couple of days a week, that means we can do the co-op working spaces to where we can have a short amount, smaller spaces in the commercial buildings. Therefore, we're not paying as much on the lease. It's all about increasing the profit margins. It's the American way. It's a beautiful thing. Remember, as I'm saying this, I'm not knocking this. I'm just saying this is how the game goes. Leverage and options. Workers had leverage and options back during 2021. Now the corporations are back to having leverage and options. Or like I said, we can cut your pay, or we can just outsource your job to AI or to somebody in India or another country. How do you want to play this game? Check and mate, poker face, game face, full house, whatever the case may be. That's not discussed enough. But that's just my personal opinion. Like I said, just gotta put it out there. That's my personal opinion. So, like I said, leverage. Options. Options, options. Options. I'll leave it at that. Let's keep it a buck, as people would say back in the day. Let's keep it a buck. Do you have leverage? Do you have options? That's all I can say. So that's the beautiful thing. I'm glad when this election's over with, and wherever the chips may fall, all I got to say is, are you going to put yourself in an economic position to make moves? I can never answer that question for you. Only you can, family. Only you can. That's where we're at. Straight up and down. Condolences. I know today's forecast, we're all going to die. Unfortunately, some people have passed away in Oklahoma because of the tornadoes that are happening out there. Like I said, I experienced my second. I've only been in 2 tornadoes in my life. One was my bad. No, it wasn't a tornado. That was a hurricane. So my bad. I've only experienced 1 tornado in my life, and it was when I was in Houston back in May. And luckily, the hotel I was in, it didn't have any power issues, but people in Houston was out of power for a minute. But but at the end of the day, unfortunately, Oklahoma, Texas, that part of the country, they get, twisters, especially I know Oklahoma does. Texas gets some of everything, but that part of the country, unfortunately, has a lot of twisters. There, Kansas, middle America, they go through a lot of twisters, unfortunately. So it's a normal thing. It's just like earthquakes in California. My first earthquake was actually in Washington, D.C. back in, was it 2010 or 2011? Yeah, and then my second earthquake, it was in California. But I did not feel it. I was at a gym at the time, so I'm glad that commercial facility, there was no issues. I'll just say that much. And I'm glad that no weights fell on me and killed me or hurt me and maimed me in any way. So I will say that much. But, things are not always what they seem. And I always say at the end of the day, the best experience is the actual experience of you going through something. Don't always just take somebody's word for it. Don't just listen to people on YouTube. Don't just listen to the media. Sometimes you just got to go through the experiences. You know, like Alabama, Mississippi. You know, members of my family would always say, don't go to Alabama, Mississippi. I've been to Alabama twice. I never had an issue. I've been to Mississippi 3 times. Haven't had an issue. You know, sometimes you just got to take the chance. Last year, I was scared to leave the United States. And I did it for the first time. And even though it was Canada, which I, you know, once being there for 2 days, I'm like, okay, this is America/Europe part 2. That's all, you know, nothing against my Canadians. You know, I love Canada. I've been to Vancouver this year. I went to Toronto last year. I like Toronto more than Vancouver. Both beautiful cities, beautiful country. Can't wait to go back. But yeah, it's like America. I mean, like I said, once I went to the Enterprise rental car place and everything worked out. Once I went to LA Fitness in Toronto, Canada, I was like, wait, there's an LA Fitness 4 minutes from my hotel. And I was at a Holiday Inn Express hotel. I was like, man, this ain't nothing but America part 2/Europe part 2. You know, the only thing that threw me off is when I was driving the vehicle, you know, they don't go by speed limit, they go by kilometers and whatnot. So it was saying I was going to 300 kilometers and things of that nature, so that threw me off. So it took me a minute to catch on to how to work that so to ensure that I didn't get a ticket, you know, or into a car accident, whatever the case may be. But yeah, you know, and the story that I went off on with the guy Smiley, you know, he took the chance, he took the risk. And he might not have been making the same amount of money that he was making, but he was, like I always say, I'll quote this from Damon Dash, he was rich in life. He might not have been rich in money, but he was rich in life. And he was living a lifestyle that he did not take a vacation from. Me being from the DMV area, majority of the people that live in this area they have a lifestyle that they always want to take a vacation from. And I leave it at that. You know, but, you know, like I said, we're in November. New month, new opportunities. And we'll see how this thing called life continuously pans out. I want to be optimistic. I think I'm more half pessimistic and optimistic nowadays. I used to be 100% optimistic, but I'm just nothing but a pessimist, you know. So, you know, so now I'm half and half. But I think that's just normal as you get older and as you go through life. This is what's considered to be a normal thing, and you know, you just have to roll with the punches and see how this thing called life pans out, because you just never know. You know, as Kenny Rogers used to say, I can't believe I remember his name. You got to know when to hold him. You got to know when to fold him. A simple saying, but it's probably the realest saying on God's green earth. Okay, one of the realest sayings ever. You know, sometimes you can go all in. Sometimes you got to be all out. You know, it's all in how you perceive life. And that comes to friendships, relationships, business, your job. You got to know when to fall back, and you got to know when to go all in. You know, and I can't put it any other way. But it's a new week, new opportunities. I'm glad I was able to do today's forecast for All Gonna Die on a Sunday, because trying to do this during the week is usually too hectic, and I hate when I go live and I'm yawning because from going to work and working out and running around doing all these freaking things. So I'm glad I was able to do this. And this daylight savings time is a blessing, but it's a curse, because it actually feels like it's 9 to 10 o'clock right now, but it's only 7:09. So it's actually kind of interesting. But I'm happy about it. Trust me, to get that extra hour, man, barely get any rest nowadays anyways. But Larry's Anything Goes, we finally reached over 1,000 subscribers. Very happy about that. You know, took a long time to finally get here. So welcome to my new subscribers. Hopefully you like the content. I know most of you are here because of the shorts that I put up that made you think or made you laugh. But check out my content. You know, I usually talk about financial things, motivational things. I never portray myself as a financial expert, because I'm not, you know, so I don't give out financial advice. I just talk about certain things that I do, and I go from there. I don't get detailed into certain stocks, things of that nature. I just give out a little bit of, I talk about a little bit of things of from a financial and motivational perspective, and that is the gist of this channel at the end of the day. All right. I support Black businesses, and I talk about what's happening in the economic Black community. Doesn't mean I'm, have hatred towards anybody else, because I patronize everybody's business, but I definitely just like to show my people some love, and I talk about the businesses and I shop at the businesses, and that's what it is. That's the Larry's Anything Goes way. So, but on that note, I'm going to call it a night. Got a long week ahead of me and all that good stuff. So I would say do great things. Like, share, subscribe. Have a great day. If you're a stock market investor, crypto investor, if you're a retirement account investor, don't forget to check out WEBULL, Stash, Acorns, Crypto.com, Coinbase. What other platforms you'll be able to make some money moves? I will receive like $10 to $20 once you sign up. Go from there. Some of those platforms you actually receive free stocks and free crypto. So once again, the links are in the description. Check them out. If you want to bless the channel with a Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, all the links are in the description. You see my Cash App at the bottom. Hit it up. Larry's Anything Goes online store. We'll be working on that more specifically next weekend. Either delete a lot of items out of there and add more inventory and start changing things up. But new month, last 2 months of 2024. So 2025 is not knocking on our door. 2025 is here. So whatever little things you have to settle up, I would suggest you do it now. All right. On that note, family, I'm out, and take care. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Larry's Anything Goes. Hopefully you're having a great day. If you've been watching Larry's Anything Goes programming, you know that we are not only providing great financial intelligence content as much as possible by interviewing other financial professionals, professionals in the travel industry, real estate industry, etc., and so forth, but we provide various services when it comes to specific products that we sell, from anything that you would actually find on Amazon or actually at Walmart, etc., and so forth. And we are actually providing specific products due to today's current crisis and whatnot, to ensure that we provide the right services and products that you need at a reasonable price when it comes to medical face masks, when it comes to hand sanitizer, and when it comes to latex gloves and things of that nature, and etc., and so forth, toilet paper, paper towels. But we have what you need. Also, family, don't forget that Larry's Anything Goes is a part of an affiliate marketing network known as Gold Standard Partners, where you have the opportunity to buy cryptocurrency and allow others to invest with you as becoming an affiliate marketing partner. And obviously, if they purchase a package with the program, you're able to make money off their package purchases and make money off of their crypto purchases and things of that nature. If you want to join, please follow the links in the description, and I'll give you a call as soon as you sign up and purchase a package, and we'll go from there. But definitely, it's all about the best way to make money moves is to have currency with one another, and to ensure that currency is always being spoken of on all levels, so it benefits everyone and not just one specific person. That's a lot of things that people forget about. So think about joining the program, and we'll be able to go from there. But if not, either way, it's always appreciated. And thank you for watching. And hopefully you guys have a great day and continuously make money moves so you don't live broke like a fool. Take care. As you can see, with our various products, we have our financial apparel, as you see, wearing There's Anything Goes t-shirt, financial intelligence is sexy, face masks, latex gloves, things of that nature, to obviously ensure the safety of you and your family all at the same time. We want to ensure that you get the best products and see the actual products that we're actually providing for you, and giving you another view of not only the shirts and the medical masks, but actually another view of actual latex gloves and the actual hand sanitizer. Because one thing we've learned throughout this unfortunate crisis is that we have to take more precautionary measures to ensure not only the safety for ourselves, but for our families. And having a great pair of hand sanitizers, latex gloves, and medical face masks will ensure that safety. And with all that being said, hopefully you guys will check out our online store. We have the various products that you see here.
with a couple of clicks, especially if you're paying via PayPal, it makes life that much easier for you to purchase our various products, especially during this unfortunate situation. You see the apparel from Larry's Anything Goes. We have the medical products when it comes to hand sanitizer, latex gloves, medical face masks, and things of that nature, and various other products. So please check out Larry's Anything Goes. Support small local businesses. We greatly appreciate it, and hopefully that you have a good day.